and welcome to Amplifying Creativity with iPad. This video will go alongside the GarageBand Badge of Apple Teacher to help you achieve your Apple Teacher accreditation. My name is Paul McGinty. I am a Senior Learning Technologist with the Midlothian Digital Inclusion and Learning team. My background is as a primary school teacher, and I have experience of using iPads and going through the Apple Teacher programme while working as a teacher in Glasgow City Council over the past 5 years. I moved through to Midlothian this year to help as part of their Equip for Learning project. This video is part of the Midlothian Apple Regional Training Centre, which has been set up to help deliver courses to build the skills and confidence of educators across Midlothian to enable them to use Apple technology both inside and outside their classroom. We are a community who share best practices and inspire excellence through teaching with Apple technology. You can follow the Midlothian Regional Training Centre on Twitter to keep up to date with upcoming CPD opportunities, as well as share good practice which is happening in classrooms across Midlothian using Apple technology. The content of this video, as well as the pedagogical approaches taken in the CPD opportunities which will be offered by the Apple Regional Training Centres, is based firmly in research, including the Gallup Creativity in Learning report, as well as research conducted by the World Economic Forum, which found that the top 10 skills of 2025 include many things which can be enabled by the use of technology. For this session, all you will need is the GarageBand app, so please make sure that you have the most up-to-date version of GarageBand available on your Apple device. Before we begin, please take a few seconds to pause this video and think about what creativity looks like in your own classroom, whether that involves the use of technology or not. When you first open GarageBand, it will show you a list of the songs that you would have already created. If you have not yet created any songs or any tracks in GarageBand, then this page will be blank. To start a new project, you click on the plus sign in the top right hand corner of the screen. After you have clicked this, you will see the range of instruments and tools that are available on GarageBand to help you record your track. These include audio recorder, string instruments, bass instruments, guitars, and so on. You can also import sounds from external sources, as well as use any of the instruments or amps or anything that is available on GarageBand that you think might be necessary for you to create your project. The first example that we are going to look at today is creating a project on GarageBand using the keyboard. When you first click on the keyboard, it will assign you to one specific type of keyboard, but if you click on this, then you can change it to any type you want. You can click through these until you find the specific type of keyboard that you think would be most appropriate for whatever your project is going to be. There are many options, so it can take you a bit of time going through these until you find the specific keyboard that would be most appropriate for you. For this example, we are going to use a classical grand keyboard, which is your most basic and simple type of keyboard. One of the great features which are available using GarageBand is the Smart section. This is available in the bottom left hand corner of each of the instruments. For example, at the bottom of the keyboard you can see it says Smart Piano. It's the same with the drums and any other instrument on here. The strings, you can see Smart Strings, the same with the bass, and so on. We're going to have a look at an example of this today from the keyboard through clicking on Smart Piano in the bottom left hand corner. Smart Piano is really good if you are using GarageBand in a class which aren't particularly musical and you're not learning how to play an instrument, but you still want the children to use GarageBand to maybe add a soundtrack on top of a video that you have created or something along those lines. Smart Piano allows you to play a tune or play a track from any type of piano without you having to actually play the keys yourself, because you can choose what note you want and GarageBand will then play it for you. You can also choose between 4 separate tracks on each type of instrument or each type of keyboard or piano or whatever you choose. For example, on this, it is on a grand piano right now, but I can click on any type of keyboard or piano which is available from the options. For example, if I click on bell string pad here, and then click done, then you can see at the right hand side of the screen it gives us 4 numbers, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And what I can do is I can click on any note on the pad here and it will start playing a track. For example, if I click C, you can see that gives us a very kind of 80s type theme. It might be good if the children were creating a spooky video type thing and you wanted to put an audio track on top of that. But it can vary if I change the instrument again and make it a bass instrument, and let's make it a deep techno bass. And you can just experiment with it. If I put it to number 3 and then click the C key, you can see that's very different. And some of the keyboards you can also choose between some of the words that are here. For example, it was in hollow right there. I could change that to greasy. Which you can see also completely changes the way that it sounds. So it can be a really good idea if you're working with a class to go through the different types of keyboards or drums or string instruments or anything that you want to use to experiment with the smart feature and to experiment with the different sounds, see what sounds good and see what might match whatever project or whatever it is that you might be doing in your class that you want to use GarageBand alongside. I'd ask you to pause the video now for you to go on to GarageBand and just have a play about with these instruments. Have a wee fidget with the smart features, maybe on the keyboard, maybe on a guitar, and see what they can do. It's really interesting once you get to grips with it, so please pause the video now and go and give this a go. One of the most useful features of GarageBand when you're using iPads with your class is the audio recorder feature, which can be found where the icon of a microphone is in the main homepage of GarageBand. When you click on that microphone, you can change the type of microphone that is available through tapping the centre of the screen and then changing it to whatever option you want. For recording your voice, the best option would be narrator, which is at the bottom of those options. So tap on narrator and then click done. And after that, you want to make sure that there will not be a ticking noise in the background like what often comes with GarageBand. To ensure that this is not there, ensure the metronome is turned off. This is where you would see the little blue triangle at the top of the screen. So if you tap that so it goes to white, then that means that that is off and you will not get that ticking noise in the background. Also, to ensure that the recording will go on for any length of time that you wish, you need to make sure that the settings for the timings of your GarageBand project are on automatic rather than being set to a certain amount of bars. To do that, click on the plus sign on the right hand side of the screen where the numbers are, and then click on section A here and then select the option for automatic. And that means that your recording will go on for however long you need it to. To begin your recording, you just need to press the red button, the red circle at the top of the screen, and it will count down. And then the audio recording will begin. You can see from the arrow moving along the bar at the top of the screen how long this audio recording is going on for. The audio recording feature is very, very useful in class if you are creating a project where you might want to interview someone or you might want to capture the children discussing a topic through the form of a podcast. There are many, many options which you could explore through using the audio recorder tool. You might want to pause the video now To go and have a look at this yourself, see what different types of microphones are available, and have a think about how you might want to use this tool in your own class. Another interesting tool which could be useful when using GarageBand is the sampler. The sampler is available on the keyboard section of the home screen, and it is a little musical symbol surrounded by a speech bubble, as you can see here. When you click on the sampler, this is what you will see. Now you can click the red button, the big red button on the right hand side of the screen, to record a sample of you making a noise with your voice or making a noise with something else around you in the room. For example, I could click this red button and record myself saying hello, like that. Now, after you've recorded your voice, you might want to trim it so that it's just the noise of you talking or making the noise that is in the sound bar rather than this big gap at the end. To do that, you click on the blue arrow at the right hand side of the screen and move it inwards like that, so it's only the section with my voice in it that you can see. After you've done that, anytime you click on one of the keys, it will play back the sample that you have just recorded or that you have just made with an object in the room back to you at whatever key you are pressing. So for example, if I press on C3 in the middle here, you will hear it go hello. If I press up the scale, you will hear, or if I press down near the bottom of the scale, you will hear. This could be a really cool way to modify your voice if you want to create a track, maybe that's part of a soundbite story that you are making with your class, or you just want to use different objects around the room to put a track together. Then using the sampler on the keyboard section of GarageBand is a really cool and fun way to do this. If you like, you can pause the video now to go and have a play about with this yourself. If you want to create a new beat with your class, then a good way to do this would be using the drummer tool on GarageBand. On the drummer tool, you can choose what person you want to be in charge of the drums. Each person that you choose has their own unique style and unique way that they play their drums. For example, if I click on Logan here, then he will have his own unique style compared to the others. You can then play about with the settings on here. You can choose what parts of the drum you want Logan to be playing. You can choose at the right hand side what you want the percussion, cymbals and kick and snare levels to be. You can edit them if you wish. You can choose at the bottom of the screen how many fills you want there to be. That's how much noise will be in between the different parts of the drums that Logan is playing. And at the left hand side you can move this circle around to decide how loud, soft, simple or complex you want the drumming to be. After you've played about with the settings, you can click the play button at the top of the screen to hear how it sounds. Okay, after you've listened to that, you can play about with it again. You can change some things. I might want to take away the clapping, put in something different, move the settings down, and just change it until you get it the way that you want it to make it sound a little bit differently. Let's try it now and see if it sounds any different. Okay, that made it sound a little bit simpler compared to how it was before. If you want to make it sound completely different, you can change the drummer. Let's say you can change to Darcy, and you can play about with it here, make it completely different from what it was before, and play it and just test about with different versions of different drummers, beats, until you get it the way that you want it. Again, it's not just the acoustic drummers that you can choose from, you can also choose from the electronic drummers. And here you've got to choose between a big room EDM, tech house, dubstep, boom bap and trap drummers here. If you click on one of these, it's not a regular drum set that you're looking at. It looks a little bit more like this. So you can choose what you want to be using here. choose how you want it to sound. Again, quite similar to how it was before. And then play this to see how it sounds. And you can hear that's completely different from how the different drummers sounded in the last section. So there's lots of options to play about with here, and you can formulate your own beat using your own instruments on each of these drummers' drum sets. Another way that you can create great beats using GarageBand is through the live loops feature. You can get onto the live loops feature through switching from tracks onto live loops at the top of this page. When you click on live loops, it will take you to this screen here, and you have several different options, including EDM, hip hop, R&B, Chinese modern music. There's lots of options here, and there's also a sound library where you can download other packs with other options on top of that. So for example, if you click on the dubstep option here, when you click on that, you'll be presented with this screen here. Might take a minute to load, but there it is. On this screen here, you can switch between different styles of dubstep. You can click any one of these orange, blue or green parts and it will start playing a part of the track. For example, if I click on one of the orange bits at the top, it sounds like that. You can then add more into it. I can click on several of the blue parts and then listen to how it sounds after that. You can also click on the arrows that are facing upwards at the bottom of the screen, and it will play a whole part of a section. For example, if I click on one of them down here, you will hear it. And the children love this just because it sounds so cool. When you click the red button at the top of the screen, it will start recording the part of the track, and while you're recording it, you can flip between different sections. You can add certain beats or you can take away certain beats as the recording is going on. When you're on this main screen from the live loop section, if you click on the sound library, then you'll see lots of other options, lots of packs that you can download to add different sounds, which will then become available on the live loops. When you have downloaded one, they will appear on this screen. For example, I have downloaded the section in the sound library that says Toy Box. Toy Box is one that is particularly good for children to use. When you've downloaded it, it will appear on the second page of options here. So, as an example, if I click on one of them, let's say I'm going to click on Animal Kingdom here, and then give it a minute to load, you will see it has different sound options, just like we've seen before. So let's see, as an example, if I click on one of these blue sections, it'll make an animal noise. The same with all of them. The children can flick through these animal noises, and they'd be really, really useful to record them if they want to use them as part of a video that they are creating, or part of a story that they want to tell, where they might have animals in the story and they want to include sound effects in the background. They can just move between these different sections until they find the noise that they want to include. A few of the others sound like this. There are lots there, and it's great fun for the children to play about with. Also, within that Toy Box section of sounds is the Moving Machines section, which will allow you to test out various sound effects from vehicles or planes and things like that. For example, that's the noise of a car starting, or if I click on another one, that's the noise of a horn blaring, and there's lots of things that you can go through there, which might be good if children want to add wee sound bites to a story that they're creating, which might have machines or vehicles or something along those sorts in it that they can include to make it more interesting and to make it stand out a little bit. You also have the world of numbers. On the world of numbers, it has a person saying the numbers in English at the top of the screen.
1, 2, 3.
But as they move down to the different people and the different voices, each voice has a person saying the numbers in a different language.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And so on. We've already looked at Animal Kingdom. If we have a look at Planetarium, that will have different space-themed sound effects.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
And again, these are all really cool, really interesting. A good buy-in if you want children who maybe don't normally have a great interest in creating stories. If you show them that they can include these cool sound effects to make their story stand out a little bit more, then that might be a good way to hook them in and to get them using GarageBand as a part of their learning. Finally, you also have the toy box instruments, which allow the children to make beats which are maybe a little bit more child-friendly compared to the regular live loops which you can make in GarageBand. For example, if we click through some of the sections here, you'll hear how it sounds. This kind of thing could be quite cool if you maybe want the children to create their own theme tune for a TV show or something like that. It just sounds quite nice and child-friendly and gets them used to using these beats in a simpler fashion before they move on to the more regular time loops which are also available. If they have been using time loops, one of the good things that they can do is if they click on the FX button here, then they can play it and also act like a DJ and mix the sounds about and give it various different effects. For example, if we play what we have here, you could see there, as I was playing the track, I was playing about with the different tools at the bottom of the screen, the different FX tools to give it different effects. Children love this because it's as if they're acting, as if they're a DJ. They're mixing it about, they're scratching the track, they're making it repeat, and so on. And it's just something quite fun for them to do, something different when they're learning about music and when they're playing with different instruments. Next to the FX symbol, you'll see this symbol that has different lines going up and down with symbols in the middle. That is how they can change how different instruments are sounding. They can edit the treble, the bass, they can give their sound an echo or a reverb, and all of this just allows them to edit the way certain instruments sound in their track to again give them a greater control of what they are putting into it, so that they feel a greater sense of achievement once they finish the track that they're creating. And you can see as I was editing and moving around with the tools there, it slightly changed the way that it was sounding. And you can play about with them in any way you want. There's lots of different settings there that they can have a fidget about with until they get the track sounding exactly the way that would suit them for whatever your project is in your class. Now is a great chance for you to stop and have a go at the various different options that are within the live loop section. See if you can download tracks within the sound library what different packs are available. You can have a look at it, have a fidget about, have a play, see if you can create your own track, your own beat using one of these sections. Now that you have had a chance to play about with the different tools that are available in GarageBand, it'd be a great time for you to start your Apple Teacher journey by completing the GarageBand Badge. When you click on Apple Teacher within the Apple Teacher Learning Centre, you will see the different things that you can click on, and one of these will be GarageBand. If I scroll down from the Apple Teacher Journey section of this page, you will see Become an Apple Teacher is down here, and one of the things that you can click on is GarageBand for iPad, which is normally the last badge. So you might have already completed some of these badges and are moving on to GarageBand at the end, or you might be starting off with GarageBand. But whatever you're doing, it's totally fine. You can do these in any order you like to earn your badges. So when I click on GarageBand for iPad here, you will see that quite a lot of the things that we've spoken about in this video are in here already. You can see you've got the projects, audio recorder, the sampler, editing tools, the drummer, live loops, all of these kind of things we have already looked at. I have already earned this GarageBand for iPad, but for you, when you're going through these, you will click on each one of these sections. For example, if I click on audio recorder here, I will give you an opportunity to try it. I will take you through it. I will explain how to do different things on it, just like we have done in this video. And then when you have went through it and tried the different sections again if you need to, then you can click on Earn Your Badge at the end. When you earn your badge, it will ask you a series of questions, and if you answer these questions correctly, then you will achieve your badge for GarageBand. You don't need to get all 5 of them correct, you just need to get 4 out of 5 of them correct. As you can see, that's what I got when I first completed this badge a while ago. So you can go through them, you can try the questions a few times, try it out, play with it, until you are able to achieve your GarageBand badge. And once you've achieved all of the badges that are available in Apple Teacher, then you will become an Apple Teacher. Thank you for tuning in to this whistle-stop tour of GarageBand. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you at various other CPD opportunities which will be offered by the Midlothian Apple Regional Training Centre in the coming weeks and months.